Welcome to the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, where today we're talking about the joy of cooperative games.
Yay!
Hello and welcome back to the Critical Twits. I'm Brian.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about the joy of cooperative board games, aren't we, Aaron?
Yes, we are.
And we're very excited to do so. The podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud and all those places, but also for this episode and hopefully other episodes soon to come, video is available on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, hello, we'll wave.
Hello.
But we'll maintain some kind of descriptive audio component for those of you that aren't.
By wave, we mean wobbling hand, back and forth. Just in case you don't know what a wave is, we never know.
Yeah. That's good. That's actually very descriptive. I'm proud of you.
That's all right. Thank you.
You've come a long way. So cooperative board games then, Aaron.
Yes.
Do you like cooperative board games?
I love cooperative board games. They are probably one of my favourite genres of board games, to be honest.
Yeah?
Well, as far as categorising board games is concerned.
You've got board games, you've got dice ones and card ones, and you've got
one where you just do lots of talking.
Yeah, and you've got ones that don't use a board but are still board games. Because they could have a board. They're all the genres of board games.
Yes.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's lots of different genres of board game. Cooperative board games are kind of a genre that covers lots of different things. You can have a cooperative deck builder. You can have a cooperative dungeon crawler. You can have a cooperative party game.
Yes.
You can have all sorts of different games within different genres, but it's kind of like this overarching theme or mechanic where instead of you competing against each other, your source of conflict is with the game itself, with the board, with the mechanisms therein. You may have a puzzle to solve, a problem to solve, or a time limit to complete certain actions by.
Yes.
So that's what we mean by a cooperative game.
Apt and succinct description.
Yeah. So I suppose, we've got a couple cooperative games here in front of us. We've got Pandemic.
Yes,
Pandemic
classic.
Legacy. One of the first cooperative games I actually played.
It's one of the first cooperative games. It's one of the first big named cooperative games, I think. And similarly, it's one of the first ones I ever owned as well.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about Pandemic in a previous episode.
Yes.
I'm going to say 70-something. Yeah.
Edit that in later. I don't know.
Because we were so taken with the Pandemic series, which has got loads of different games in.
Huge amounts of variations.
Pandemic actually is one of those games where, I suppose we should explain Pandemic very briefly. You are playing members of the Centre for Disease Control. You are flying around the world trying to stop 4 diseases from murdering all of humanity.
Yep.
Curing some and sort of holding some back. And hoping that you don't get to a point where so many viruses have outbroken that everyone dies horribly.
Yeah.
So your opponent in that game is the system by which cards are flipped and disease cubes, virus cubes are placed down.
Yeah, simple enough.
Yeah, so that's how it works.
Yeah.
In essence, it's one of the very first games I played, as I said, that's cooperative, and it's also one of those games where people are getting into what I would term serious board games when they're moving beyond Cluedo, Monopoly and Scrabble.
Yes.
For something a modern board game.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that captures people's attention, and it's one of those ones that actually I kind of buy people for their, like if they need a birthday present or a Christmas present. I think I bought like 3 different copies of Pandemic and gifted them to people.
Yeah, because it's nice and easy to pick up. And because that cooperative element is so far removed from games like Monopoly and Cluedo and stuff like that it shows you that board games can be something other than those games.
Yes. Any other really good cooperative board games that you've played?
Mysterium, actually.
Yes. Mysterium is so good.
Yeah,
I love Mysterium.
Which is the game you should buy people who love Cluedo that want to play a cooperative version, essentially.
Yes. It's Cluedo without roll and move.
Yep.
And actual clues rather than just guessing.
Yes.
where one of you plays a ghost
Who can't talk.
who can't talk. You have to sew your mouth shut while you play the game, which is actually quite painful.
It is, but the
Worth
sewing
it.
kit they
Totally worth
provide
it.
is high quality, so it's fine.
And we both had to grow beards to hide the scars.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
you just can't talk. You're not allowed to talk.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell the players who a murderer was.
Yep.
Or your murderer, I suppose, being the ghost. That's
Yes.
probably what happened.
Yeah, I think that's the aim. But it could be anybody's murder. You're a ghost. You can do what you like.
Yeah, well, I suppose you might have seen some sneaky murders.
Well, exactly. If you're wandering around this mansion by yourself,
Yeah,
got nothing better to do than watch other people get murdered. Definitely.
So, I mean, it could be a hotspot of murder. It could be like the murder house.
It could
Is
be.
it
Yeah.
H.H. Allen? H.H. Holmes. H.H. Holmes, the guy in Chicago had the murder house where like loads of people died.
Yes.
It could be like that.
It could be. Yeah.
In which case, don't hang around for a séance.
No. But I suppose people who do seances are the sort of people that aim for that because there's more activity.
That's a good
You're
point.
into that kind of
it's
thing.
tricky, but you might get murdered. You might go through a false wall and end up in a pit of bodies.
But if you're a person who does seances, then potentially you just you know exactly how to be a ghost and how to get to your crime solved. So
Yes.
you've got an advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other players are the people taking part in the séance, and they use clues. The ghost gives them clues on cards, and they have to try and use those clues to work out which location, which person, which thing was used to kill them.
Yeah.
So it's very much like Cluedo, but so much better.
Yes.
And you're all on the same side. You're all trying to solve the same murder. You're all trying to sort of follow. You're following slightly different clues.
Yeah,
you
you
get different clues. But
ultimately, you want everybody to be there at the end
Yes.
and help each other get there. And you can do it wrong and they not get to the end game with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those games. I love playing it. Really enjoy playing it. I bought the expansion like 18 months, 2 years ago when it first came out. Never played it with the expansion.
No.
In fact, my expansion is here and the game itself is miles away in a secret location surrounded by spectres, ghouls, ghosts, goblins and leashes.
That does make it awkward to play.
That was really good, apart from goblins managed to slip in there and they're not undead.
No, but they do like to hang around the undead, to be fair.
They do. They've got a lot in common.
They do.
Stench and
Sort of that off-green colour.
Shunning more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just they get shunned or they like shunning other people?
They get shunned.
Oh, okay. Oh, bless. I feel bad for them now.
Yeah, like a kinky Amish woman.
But yeah, no, the Mysterium's quite nice, especially because it's got quite an asymmetrical style of play.
Yes.
So the person who's giving the clues as the ghost is doing something very different to the people who are the seers in the seance.
Yes, yeah.
So, it gives a bit of... There's a nice bit of variety as far as co-op... Because some co-op games, you basically do the same thing over and over again. You can mix who does the ghost, and they get a bit of a different game, which is nice.
Yeah.
What about you, then? Unless I've stolen it.
I'm struggling for other co-op games I've played. I know I've played lots of other co-op games. I've got one. We'll just cut that bit. I've played Arkham Horror, the card game.
Yeah?
Which is a cooperative... Gonna burp. I've played Arkham Horror, the card game, which is a cooperative living card game for Fantasy Flight.
Remember you telling me about this? Yes.
Where you get a scenario and you work your way through it, either 2 of you or 4 of you. And your deck of cards represents the abilities and powers of your investigator. Very Call of Cthulhu, Arkham the City, from the Lovecraftian mythos.
Yes.
And that was quite fun. It was very different. It's very...
Not what I expect from a deck building game.
No.
A living card game, I should say, not deck building.
Yeah, it's weird because they do have, they have tournaments.
Yeah.
But you're not competing, and I have no idea how that works.
Assume maybe each team, you play with a team and you've got a scenario and every team has the same scenario and it's whoever beats it the best.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But I can see that kind of working.
It was quite fun.
Yeah.
I've only played it a few times, but it's interesting in how you build your deck and you make your deck really good, but you kind of have party roles.
Yeah.
So you'll be like, my deck is really good at this thing and this thing. Can you cover the other thing that we need to do?
Yeah.
Which is fun, which is interesting. So there's elements of that kind of that deck builder or rather deck creation, not deck builder as in you're drafting cards and adding them to your deck, like something like Dominion and Mystic Vale.
Or the Legendary series that is cooperative as well.
I've heard of those.
A lot of times. I've played a couple of them.
Spoken of in hushed tones.
Yes, yeah. They're a thing.
But as if they were mythical. I've gone too far again, haven't I?
Yeah, that's basically the same thing, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we did an episode on deck builders a while ago. I want to say episode 64. That's a complete 20. Guess. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was very early on.
In this very room, on a rickety table that was made of plasterboard and bits of cat hair.
Hence all the creaking you'll probably hear if you go back and listen to it.
I think there's minimal creaking. I think
it's not that bad, but
we jimmied it.
Yeah,
not like the lovely, luscious pod setup we've got now. This is gorgeous, by the way. This new microphone setup we've got. Hopefully,
it's wonderful.
It sounds even better than it used to.
Yes, yeah.
That's despite the plan.
Glorious expensive microphone. These are glorious, even more expensive microphones.
This is the third iteration of the podcasting machine.
Yep.
The first iteration being
a karaoke mic I bought on Amazon for £10.
Yes, balanced on a weird tripod. That the three legs didn't all meet. How could you have a rickety tripod? You still had a rickety tripod. It must be impossible. But it was still rickety.
That's what £10 gets you, clearly.
Yeah.
Then on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, so. And then we had the what was referred to as the dildo of shame.
Oh yes, yeah, I've forgotten it got called that. Yeah,
yes,
which has gone away. Oh no, it's down there. It's down there.
Yeah, which was our Yeti.
The nice and simple plug and get going setup.
Yeah, nice big long slightly phallic object, really hefty. You could club a burglar to death with it.
Yes,
if you're willing to undergo a long and very public court case as a consequence. It's a Tony Martin reference.
Yes, that's
current.
Yeah, I was going to say very timely.
Yeah, everything's timely here. Any more good cooperative games? Before I move on to the cooperative game's bastard cousin, the semi-cooperative game.
Oh, bear with me while I think. I'm sure there's some.
You didn't bear.
No, it's because I asked you to bear with me.
No, bear with. With implies co-synchronous.
I'm just naturally a bear. If I was gay, I'd clearly be a bear.
You're quite small. Aren't you an otter?
Is that a thing?
It's a small, hairy man.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fat as well, which apparently is a thing for being a bear. So,
okay.
You know, I fit some of the criteria. If you're into the bear subculture, let me know if I fit.
Less porridge, mate. Anyway, back to board games.
There's got to be some others because we hunt them down. Oh, yes. Another one I quite like actually is the Unlock series.
Okay, cool. I've not played any of those.
No,
there you go again, playing games without me, like some kind of uncaring friend. That's not really a simile, is it? No. This shelf is like a piece of wood that supports things.
I've spoken about it on the Dice Cup Cafe roundup.
Yes,
I did from Nottingham a little while ago.
Episode 90 something.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Memorization.
And it's basically an escape room in a box as it's described. And you get some cards with clues on, and you've got to solve the clues, and you work together to try and beat the app that it comes with. That's time and other things.
I was going to ask, how can you only play each of those once?
It's got a scoring system set up in it, so based on how many clues you take, how long you take, how many mistakes you make, you'll get a rating of 1 to 3
and
a time for it. So theoretically, you can replay it again to get a better time and a better score.
But you know the answers already.
Yeah, so it's not worth playing a second time, I would have thought. I think there might be. We've got a new box, which we might discuss at some point in the future. Because wife of Twit is really into it. So we've got a new one that's come with some different pieces. Yeah, it's not just an app and some cards.
Okay,
it's got like some fold-out clues and bits that slot into each other and stuff. And it seems like that one's meant for more replayability than the others have been in the past. I think they've tried to make it that way. Yeah, but as a system, you buy it and you play it once. So go in with it in a group because I think it's about £30 and your quid's in really. It's worth it for the free. You get 3 separate adventures in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I recently played some of the Dungeons and Dragons board games that came out around about the time of 4th edition D&D.
Oh, yeah.
I think we played Ravenloft. Me and Jamie, we played that, which is a dungeon crawler where you're cooperative and everything is governed by AI. We did play the Dark Souls board game.
Oh, yes, we did, yeah.
To mixed response.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't terrible, but it was just okay.
And I also have Gloomhaven here, which sat on the table, bigger than my body.
Yeah.
Heavier than my body now I've been on a diet, and I've still not managed to play it yet.
No.
Because
It's too big and daunting.
yeah, but it is a cooperative game.
Yeah.
So if you've got Gloomhaven and have played it, let us know in the comments whether you think I should actually bother or whether I should just sell it to a man with big arms who can carry it away and leave some space in my gaming collection.
Or woman. Let's not
woman.
make this
That's a good
inclusive.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me. One of my first experiences of cooperative stuff was Warhammer Quest and Hero Quest. Actually,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
which theoretically, Hero Quest particularly was supposed to be like somebody was the GM or DM of the ball game version of a role playing game, essentially, very simplified. But you could quite easily play as a cooperative with you kind of mutually going, right, this is where somebody horrible will put things. We're all going to deal with that. But yeah, we used to play that I used to play it with my dad and my sister on a weekend.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of a long running campaign we had going for that. There was like role play light and cooperative play lights because it's got board game mechanics in it. It's a board game.
Yeah, but it also has a little bit more to it if you want to add it in.
Yeah.
So that semi-cooperative thing, therefore, then brings me to the semi-cooperative game. Is that the right way up? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Dead of Winter being my favourite semi-cooperative game that I have ever played.
Yes.
There's loads of them. I've got Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yep.
Sat in there, which starts off cooperative, and then one of you is the betrayer.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Not every time,
No.
but
90.
47 times out of 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Betrayal at House on the Hill is an interesting one because it starts very cooperative, but then you don't quite know.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dead of Winter then.
Yeah. Betrayal at House on the Hill, sorry. Betrayal at House on the Hill is an interesting one because you don't know who the betrayer is going to be, the person who's not quite on your side. In a game like Dead of Winter, you know who, or the betrayer knows who they are.
Yes.
If there is one, it actually has a thing of there might not be a betrayer. And what it does is it kind of sows a little bit of discontent amongst the players and stops something bad from happening. So I was going to talk about the pros and cons of cooperative games.
Yes.
I suppose the big problem with co-op games can be this idea of quarterbacking. Let's get into that first, because I think that's one of the things that people really dislike potentially about cooperative games.
Yes, you do kind of need to approach cooperative games on an equal platform to everybody else who's played it.
Yes.
Maybe you need somebody who's read the rule book and understands it to kind of explain to everybody else.
Yeah.
But you need to not play with somebody who's played it loads before because, as you said, they will quarterback the rest of the game and just tell other players exactly what they need to do to be optimum. Pandemic is terrible for this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There is kind of optimum routes to go through, and if you've played it enough, you know what they are.
Yeah,
So
Pandemic is a big puzzle, and there's things you can do to very much maximise your chances of survival and mitigate the randomness.
Yeah.
But lots of cooperative games potentially can suffer from this idea of a quarterback, someone who is running the team, someone who is telling everybody else what they should do, and is essentially playing a solo game with their friends.
Yeah.
And they take over. And you're right in that quite often it's the person who's played it the most, the person who knows these things, the person who's got the best kind of system mastery, which might not be the most played, but be the kind of person that's got that brain
or just
for it.
clicked with that particular game. Yeah, exactly. It's not always though.
Yeah.
It can also be somebody who's got a particularly strong personality, who's I have to take charge of this, otherwise things aren't going to get done.
It's a really nice way of saying things. A strong personality.
Yes. I try not to offend the potential viewers with strong personalities on the internet.
Like when I was a teacher and referred to certain students as challenging.
Yes.
They're particularly challenging.
Yes.
Or you got a bit of work and you were like, little Johnny, that essay was interesting.
Yeah.
It's a loaded word.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Someone who naturally kind of takes charge.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got people in the group who are naturally kind of more laid back, more relaxed.
Yeah.
Maybe don't care as much about winning.
Potentially. Or if you end up devolving into sort of, not an argument, it can do, but, you're debating things quite a lot between you.
Yeah.
And quite often it ends up landing on one person's shoulders, go, right, no, the rest of you need to stop, we're doing this. But that also ends up being the one person who ends up basically making the decisions throughout the game.
Yeah. And so I think this is something that comes up time and time again when I look on forums and on Reddit and on Facebook groups and those kind of things, is people, I don't like it, it's too much quarterbacking.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the fault of the game.
No, not really. It's you not having the right gaming group for the game itself.
Yeah. And so you're right in that cooperative games need to be approached in a certain way.
Yeah.
And so if you do know the game better than everyone else, maybe you need to take a back seat and suck it up for a bit. Let people make their own mistakes.
Yeah, just help with, like, oh, no, you can't do that. You need to, because the rules say you can only do this thing.
Yeah. You could be Mr. Rules Man or Mrs. Rules Woman or even Ms. Rules Person, whatever you want to do. But just to make sure you're not telling people what to do, because I guarantee the way that you got really good at the game was by making mistakes and learning from them. And you're denying players that thing.
It's also kind of the fun part of cooperative games, is that risk of losing and losing a lot at the start and then finally beating the puzzle in Pandemic's case, or the challenge you've come across. I mean, certain don't fall into it quite as much. I mean, Mysterium doesn't fall into that category quite as heavily.
No.
Specifically because each person's got their own thing they need to solve. Somebody can be in charge and go, no, they meant this clue or that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can help each other out, but ultimately you're moving your own piece in your own place. There is an element in Mysterium. Basically, you've got, I don't know, let's say there's 4 potential locations.
Yeah.
One might be a red herring and 3 will be for the players, but there'll be 3 players.
Yeah.
And there's no overlap, so you're not both going to go to the same place. So you're kind of still working together to go, well, I think my clue was the kitchen. But he sent me a knife and a picture of a frog. Why a frog? I don't know. French people eat frogs. And so you've got like this thing of
before.
Real life. You've got this kind of, you're still working together. You're not solving your own individual puzzle because other people's clues help you.
Yes.
And the clue giver is desperately like screaming away inside their own head going, no, frog, French, there's a bicycle on this picture.
We have had a friend take to wearing essentially a mask on their face the entire game because they couldn't stop the grimacing and the essentially wanting to headbutt the table throughout the whole game.
I just think he wanted to wear a mask.
Quite possibly.
Fostering an aura of mystique and potential violence.
But yeah, no, quarterbacking is a really can be a really horrible element of the game. Really, really spoiling of a cooperative game, unfortunately. And
so, I mean, I have a tendency to do that. I have been accused in the past of having a strong personality. I've also been called interesting and challenging at various points. And so I kind of have to sit back and get my enjoyment in a different way, or make my case and then stop.
Yes.
So we played halfway through Pandemic Legacy. Didn't finish it.
No, because
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, a long time ago. Get rid of the dust. I started recently, start of the year, a new game of Pandemic Legacy with some new players.
Yeah.
Who I'd never actually gamed with before. We all chucked a tenner in because their group were nicer than ours. Bitterness. So we bought a copy of the game, sat round to play it, and obviously I played the first few months, so I basically was very, very passive.
Yeah.
Incredibly, like, you want to do that? Cool, you do that? Cool, I'm just going to do this. Because I didn't want to ruin the surprises. Pandemic Legacy unlocks things as you go through the months. Just going to burp into my own armpit like a swan. That's what they're doing. So Pandemic Legacy unlocks things as you go through the months. But we caught up really quickly within a couple play sessions. And then I was like, well, I don't have to be passive now. And I was starting to boss them around because I think I played a lot more Pandemic than them.
Yeah.
And there's one of the other players in that group has very different ideas about how the game is to be played, and they're not wrong ideas.
No,
we've just got two very different ways of doing it. He always wants to mitigate risk, whereas I'm very goal focused on, well, if that happens, that's fine, but we need to get that card there so we can cure the thing now. Do it now.
Yeah.
And so we're playing sort of opposite ends of the spectrum, if you like.
Yes.
And so that was quite a nice learning experience for me to be able to go, this is what I think we should do. Oh, I don't think we should do that. Go, well, it's your go. You do what you think.
Yeah.
You do what you think is right.
Obviously not passive aggressively, but
you do what you think is right. Yeah, you make your little move with your little man. just push him around. Just push him around randomly and see if I care. You know.
God, that's actually making me want to flip the table. That's really bad.
It's good, isn't it? It's good,
If you're playing those sort of games and you just need to be a bit self-aware of what you're capable of or what you want to do when you're playing a game, and just be a bit self-conscious.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I think sometimes it comes from a good place. That's the thing with quarterbacking. It's that desire to win because perhaps maybe that's where you find the most fun, or you think that everyone else is going to enjoy it more if everyone wins. You're like trying to help everyone have fun.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose. And also maybe someone doesn't really know what they're doing. You're trying to be like, oh, Aaron, don't forget you can do this thing. And Aaron's like, what? Sorry, I stuck that card to my face with spit and I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
And you're like, but that'll be really useful. You flinched when I moved my hand to your face. I'm sorry. I apologise.
It's like, is there a card on my face? Oh no. Yeah.
So that's like the big. I feel that was the elephant in the room. The big American football guy in pads in the room with a trunk.
It might be called elephant.
Why not?
Yeah.
What about the good side then? The positives to playing a co-op game, especially when compared to playing something competitive. Oh my god, competitive.
I mean, it could be a lot less tense.
Yeah,
I mean that's.
Depends who you play it with.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I always find that cooperative games work well as a family game.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I don't
got
have
stories.
a family.
Okay, make the internet sad. I'm sorry.
It's all right, mate. You just keep bringing it up.
Okay, or people you consider family.
I don't have any of them either.
Well, that's your own fault.
I hate people.
Everybody's got their stories of Monopoly ruining a game's night with loved ones, essentially.
Yeah. Sometimes people with strong personalities aren't the best people to play competitive games with.
Yes.
Because they get too competitive.
Yeah, and stop. Because there's a level of enjoyment of just playing a game rather than necessarily winning it, and some people are not interested necessarily in winning as much as enjoying the game and the system and stuff. And a cooperative game is a gentle way of having a game without that aggressive tendencies put in place. You're focused on beating the game, not each other.
Yes, yeah. So the focus of any kind of like, damn it, where did that come from? Isn't a person.
No, it's a card that's been flipped.
It's a dice that's landed a certain way.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. Yes. So it kind of removes some of that potential for conflict.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said as well for the idea of actually working together with your fellow human beings in order to solve a problem.
Yes.
That's nice. I enjoy that.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often enough. It's something we should be supposed to be encouraged. You're supposed to work with your fellow human, and we don't very often. So actually working together to solve something or beat something.
Yeah,
There's a energizing feeling from that. I mean, we're a tribal society.
Yeah, but I feel like modern culture is very individualistic.
Yes,
especially in the West, you have a society that says you're on your own, go and do your thing. And I mean, especially these days, I mean, we are tribal in the sense that people form groups, but we're forming smaller and smaller and more insular groups. We're getting very, very excited about the 7 other people in the world who think exactly the same as we do, and we have our own subreddit and we don't talk to anyone else. And we wear our tinfoil hats together and go and stab people that aren't us, whatever it might be. I've given away my Wednesdays, haven't I? No stabbing. Stabbing bad. No, but there is... I think teamwork is something that doesn't happen as much as maybe it should in the world.
Yes.
Even at work, quite often you can consider your colleagues to be competition rather than people on the same side.
Yeah.
Or you can see them as obstructive arseholes who are stopping you from getting your vital work done by, damn it, prioritising their own workload.
Yeah.
What's that for?
How dare they?
But, some people are naturally very good at teamwork.
Yep.
And some people aren't. I think it's actually, it's nice to kind of flex those muscles. I really like the fact that in a cooperative game, you all win or you all lose.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you play a game, winning can be a really lonely place.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be a hashtag first world problem, but
a little bit.
I've won games and felt incredibly guilty when I've looked around the table and someone else appears to have had a shitty time and hasn't enjoyed it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly the same. I've gone, okay, that's not something I want to gloat over. It's like if they'd enjoy the game, I feel like gloating a bit, but no, I've made somebody miserable.
Yeah, and conversely, I've had a couple situations where I've lost, and I don't tend to mind losing unless someone laughs at me or points at me or makes an issue or is like, you're rubbish, and makes it personal in some way.
Yeah.
At which point, a little bullied switch inside my head from when I was a little 8-year-old kid just flips, and I'm like, this is the worst thing ever, and I want to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And I get really wound up by it. Yeah. I can lose as long as the person I'm playing against is a gracious winner.
Yeah.
The moment I play someone at a game and they go, oh, good game, yeah, I made that mistake in the third turn. It's like, no, I beat you. It winds me up. Because they're taking away from my victory at that point. Because I haven't beaten them. They made a mistake. They beat themselves. They lost the game for themselves. Yeah. And I know quite often it's not what they mean.
No, I don't think that's necessarily what the...
But that's how I interpret it. God damn it, in the heat of the moment. Just pop my balloon. That's the word.
Yeah. No, that's the issue with competitive gaming as such.
Yeah. Yes. And some people are naturally bad winners and some people are naturally bad losers.
Yeah.
Are you a bad winner or a bad loser?
It entirely depends what I'm playing. I tend to be more of a guilty winner. Unless I can be a bad loser if I feel like I've been picked on.
You loser.
Shut up. Yeah, no, it depends on what I've lost. I mean, like Malifaux. There's quite a lot of times when I've sulked a little bit when I've lost at Malifaux. Not because the other person's beaten me, because I don't have an issue with somebody outplaying me. That is perfectly fine. I can accept that.
That's for the best.
And to be fair, because I am crap at it.
Yeah. You're getting better.
Yeah. And man, if I watch somebody beat me, I can learn how they've beaten me.
Yeah.
So I can learn things from that. When it annoys me is when I know there's been a massive turning point in the game where I might not have lost as badly, or I might have even had a chance of drawing or winning based on a single random chance.
So you flip the black joker, which in Malifaux terms is essentially reaching into the magic hat for a bunny and pulling out a handful of bunny poo and then smearing it on your own face.
Yes, yeah. And doing that twice in the same turn is infuriating.
Yes. Have you flipped the black joker twice? Because... you're not supposed to be able to do that, really, unless you've gone through the whole deck of cards.
Yeah. We had a big turn at one point, I managed to go through both. Yeah, and it's stuff like that'll infuriate me, and then I'll become across as a really bad loser, where I'm not trying not to, because I want to learn from the other person.
That's the thing, actually. Random chance really gets my goat sometimes in games, especially if I'm tired.
Yes.
Or it's the kind of thing, like, it's rolling a dice. It's like anything but a 1, and my strategy has come up perfect, and you roll that 1 and you're like, everything has fallen apart, my empire is dust, I can't do anything right, my parents never loved me, that's why I don't have a family. and it's just like the whole thing crumbles.
Every life just crumbles. Whereas I don't find with a cooperative game I get as infuriated by it as much,
because someone else is sharing in that pain. Like life might be shit, and actually I kind of philosophically subscribe to this. But if you've got people to share that shitness with, it's less shit. If you've got to eat a turd sandwich, that's horrible. If you've got to eat half a turd sandwich, it's still horrible, but you can get to the breath mints in double time and it's all fine. It's not, you've always got a partner in success and a partner in failure. You've got someone to commiserate with. Now that can turn. I have seen it turn. I've seen it turn not in co-op games, but in games where you've got teams, which are kind of almost like a semi-co-op. That you've got elements of cooperation and you've got elements of competition. But I've seen it where people have turned on their teammates and been like, "You guys are rubbish! If you'd only done the thing, that's not a unicorn. That's a cat with an ice cream on its head. How can you not tell that? I spent ages drawing that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's other people to blame instead of yourself.
Yeah. We still talk about the notorious cat with an ice cream on its head fiasco of 2001. It's on a documentary and everything.
Oh God.
Yeah. But no, it's something it can turn. It can be a case where someone gets blamed. So again, you have to enter into that spirit of we're a team.
Yes.
We're going to do the thing, and you discuss decisions, but you make your own choices and you do what you want. Your go is your go.
Yeah.
There's nothing that annoys me worse than playing a game, a cooperative game. In fact, any game. Someone else moving my piece.
Yeah.
Without me kind of going, "Oh, could you?" If they're like, "Oh, you could move over here," and they just move you, and I'm like, "Put it back. Put it back."
Yeah, that's why we don't generally play with the dispatcher when we play with.
See, that's fine because it's part of the rules, and it specifically says
it's on their turn.
Yeah.
To be fair, rather than your turn, which is that's annoying.
Yeah. But it says with another player's permission, move their piece.
Yeah.
That may be a second pandemic thing onwards. I don't know if it was in the first edition. Maybe it was added in.
Don't think so, but yeah.
Pandemic, the dispatcher and the medic. Oh yes. What a combo! Dream team.
The walking, farting cloud of cures. Yeah,
it's the perfect symbiosis of skill and bureaucracy, isn't it? It's like admin and talent.
Yeah,
and it's like one. They just function so much better together.
So,
yes,
semi-cooperative games. Then the solution to quarterbacking potentially.
Yes. So in a semi-cooperative game, basically you have one player that may or may not be not on the team.
Yes.
Might be on a different side. In Dead of Winter, that's determined randomly at the start of the game. It becomes your objective. You also have, actually, in Dead of Winter, the mechanic where everybody... You actually do have a mechanic, like literally a mechanic, a guy with a wrench.
Yeah.
But the game mechanic of everyone having an individual goal as well as a shared set of goals that they're trying to achieve. And what that does is you might be like, we really need fire to stop the orphans freezing, but my secret goal is to get all of the fire and burn everyone. No, there's no petrol here at the petrol station. And then what they're thinking is, okay, has that person just been unlucky?
Yeah.
And all the petrol is hidden?
Yeah.
Have they been a betrayer and they're stealing the vital resources, or have they just got that secret goal and actually they can only win if they achieve their secret goal as well as the communal goal?
Because you want everybody's cooperating to get their secret goal and the communal goal as well.
Yeah.
Even though you're not really allowed to discuss it.
Yeah.
So you're constantly doubting absolutely everything. Most of the time it's just, they must be the betrayer, they've stolen something.
Yes. Yeah. I tend to, if I feel someone's done something against me, I tend to escalate. I must sound like a right psychopath on this podcast. It's nice to pretend to be in a team. Sometimes I get angry. But yeah, I tend to go, they're the betrayer. I don't go, they probably just need food for their secret goal.
Yeah.
I always get build a killer robot in Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
Which is totally what I'd be doing.
Yeah,
in real life,
if you had the skills,
that one, or the let's hide and get fat and eat our feelings one, and just eat all the food. Probably that one because it's easier.
Yeah.
There's lots of other semi-cooperative games. So Betrayal at House on the Hill, you determine that betrayer part way through the game, which is interesting because there's kind of a thing of you're keeping an eye on what everyone's been doing and what things they've got just in case.
Yeah.
And you can't all 100% trust each other all the time, but you don't want to do something that's going to screw you over if you're not the betrayer, or screw you over if you are. And there's like a nice kind of tension to it.
Yeah, because as you said, nobody, not even the betrayer, knows who they are until a certain point in the game kicks in.
Yeah.
So,
and then sometimes as well, some of the scenarios. So the way it works is there's 50 potential end of the games. You explore a mansion, the house on the hill. And you you explore, and then there is an event, and depending on where it happens to who, and the dice kind of make this happen slightly randomly, you have 50 different scenarios. So it might be that you're in the basement and you discover alien eggs, or a ghost comes out of the attic, or it could be like 50 different horror scenarios.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's going to be the betrayer, who's going to be the one who goes, I've been an alien all along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good, because it doesn't mean you don't have to bluff or lie.
No, which is useful up until a certain point, yeah. One of the games I've always wanted to try and haven't. So if anybody out there has played this, please let me know, and if it's any good and if I should pick it up, was the Battlestar Galactica one.
So it's interesting that you say that. I'm hoping we can get our hands on a copy of that next month and play it with one of our Twits superfans who's going to come around and play it with us, and then we're going to talk about it.
Awesome, yeah.
Because it's one of the first, isn't it?
Yes, one of the first. And it's kind of got the mechanics that's in this one, where one of you is the secret betrayer and you know who you are.
Yeah.
And also got the mechanics in House on the Trail and also Haunted Hill, where you might be the Cylon, who are the sort of artificial humans who are trying to kill all of humanity, without realising you're a Cylon. Yeah. So you get partway through the game and go, I was on the wrong side. And you can throw people out of airlocks and stuff, which, I just like to start launching friends out in space.
Scary, mate. Scary. Glimpse into your twisted psyche.
Yes.
Yeah. What's a space betrayer's favourite tea? Ceylon.
All right, I quite like that one.
I wrote that just now. It needs a bit of work. It's gone all right. So that does look fun and interesting, and it's a really interesting way of kind of solving that problem of one player taking over.
Yes, because you could then stab them in the back because they might be deliberately trying to take over because they're trying to betray you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to move to an even darker part of the timeline now, Aaron. We're going to talk about what happens in a competitive game when two of the players start cooperating when they're not supposed to. So there's I've played lots of games where you forge alliances and you work together for short-term goal. This is a thing in games, and it's really, really good. Played like the Game of Thrones board game. It's not the best board game.
No,
but it does encourage you to sort of make and break alliances.
Yeah.
Twilight Imperium, you can actually formalise with trade agreements, sort of alliances, and then if you go to war, they get broken and things like that. So there's mechanical effects. Risk, we played a lot of Risk Legacy many moons ago.
Yeah.
And that often involves smaller, weaker powers ganging up together to take on the bigger powers, just like in real life. And then Aaron died. So that's fine.
Yeah.
But the phenomenon I'm referring to is the phenomenon.
Yeah.
Phenomena, the phenomenon. One phenomenon, two phenomena, three phenomena, ha.
Nomina ho for
Nomina ho.
Santa-based
You
phenomenon.
just call Santa a hoe.
Yes.
Nice.
Always chimneys.
Stuffing chimneys down your prostitutes. No, prostitutes down your chimney.
Yes.
Completely on the off topic, but do you know David Sedaris? He's a very small, very gay, very squeaky voiced American humorist. He's one of my favourite people in the world. He's really funny.
I've probably seen him do something.
He tells a story about, let me get this right, the story about the Dutch tradition of Father Christmas and the 6 to 10 black men.
What?
Which is seriously one of the funniest things I've ever read and then listened to when he performed it on his Radio 4 show.
Okay.
I probably got the numbers wrong. I'll see if I can find it and add it as a link, because it's just pure hilarity. Just completely off topic.
Yeah.
What were we saying? I've lost it.
About those,
those
alliances that aren't necessarily mechanically made.
So the idea of king making is massively, massively controversial, annoying, a topic of hot debate within the board gaming community. It's one of those things that comes up quite often, often in a kind of a post about this was happening and then this person did this thing and my game was ruined.
Yeah.
King making often happens when one player realises they can't win and so turns their resources to making sure that another player can.
Sorry.
That's all right. Just stop smoking, mate.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And we've had this happen in games we've played.
Oh my God, it's annoying.
Yes. It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating because
You're still not winning.
No.
I don't. As a player, if I know I can't win a game and I'm
Yeah.
starting to lose it, it's like, right, I need to start making my own fun. How could I make these other three people I'm playing with argue amongst each other?
Yeah.
In which case I might make what appears to be a kingmaker decision and then swap it around to somebody else and then somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they'll have an argument.
Is making people argue fun?
If it's in a limited fashion, it's like
Nutter.
what? Yeah. Not in the context of a game, obviously.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
actually trying to murder each other, but like watching them in fight while you sit in the back and just go.
Yeah. As long as
Or-
everyone's in the spirit of the game, that's fine.
Or in
If someone gets beaten to death in the car park after gaming night, then maybe you've gone too far.
yeah, or you need a different group of friends if they're going to go that far.
Yeah, or more people like that if you just want to live vicariously for the thrill. You could die at any minute, which makes every second precious.
Yes.
That's Wednesday still, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Or like when I played Game of Thrones and did terribly and ended up with being the king of my siege engine and no land. I just wandered the landscape randomly attacking armies every now and then just to assert my authority.
It was sad.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I knew I'd lost, but it was
like
entertaining.
if Don Quixote found a windmill and took it with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of sweet. We didn't murder you because then you'd be knocked out the game.
Yeah, which would have been completely unfun.
Yeah,
So yeah, just having
yeah.
me wander around, and it was entertaining. It had made for a fun story afterwards.
Yeah.
But kingmaking, I don't understand. It's like, oh, this person's going to win. Oh, I'm going to side with them. It's like, well, you don't get any side glory from it.
Yeah. There's a difference between just playing the game and looking accidentally like you've king made. So if you played the most optimum move to maximise the points you're going to get, the victory points or the dongle berries or the hugs, however you're measuring success in your game. Well, we need to make a game where hugs are the currency.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Although you would never want any hugs.
No, but I could pass my hugs to other people.
You could live vicariously through pretend hugs.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be nice for you. And maybe one day we'll hug again.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. I
Yeah.
can kind of understand it. Kind of. If I was absolutely decimated by you vindictively breaking our alliance and crushing my armies when I was looking the other way,
Yes.
I might not be happy with you.
So siding with somebody else got the best chance of kicking you in the teeth. Yeah.
And
or
that's
me
kind
in
of
the
a
teeth.
consequence of what you've done in the game.
Yeah.
But when people go, oh, this is my friend and I'm going to make sure they win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, if somebody has done something to you in game and then you side with somebody to keep taking down, that's fair.
Yeah.
That feels like political machinations in effect. That's
Yeah.
fine because that's contained within the game itself.
Yeah.
Whereas, my friend is going to win. Is I've brought somebody along who, if you players, we're going to do everything to make sure that we win and nobody else does.
Yeah. I suppose the counter to that is that if you're really deserving of winning, then you can put together a strategy that can overcome this.
That's not true. I mean,
I've heard this espoused as you're still playing the game. Those people are still variables. You need to cover these things. It's when people are making massively suboptimal moves that maybe even damage them and make them lose by even more simply to mess with someone or to make sure that someone else wins.
Yeah.
That's kind of what kingmaking is, isn't it?
And even if mechanically it's a plausibility, you've still got two people who are deliberately trying to screw you over. Specifically, it feels like, or you and the other people you're screwing over. It's like it doesn't matter whether mechanically that's set up or not. It's like, that just seems douchey.
Yeah.
So there's nothing inbuilt in a game to stop.
Yes. Yeah.
And there are games where if one person does play those suboptimal rules to make sure the other person's getting further ahead, unless all three other people get together and unless all the other players get together, and that's assuming that's a possibility, and do the one thing to beat that person, which means they're not trying to win, they're just trying to make sure that person doesn't.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily fun either.
No.
And there are games like Risk We
Yeah,
play
yeah.
games of Risk where that's one person's done so obviously to make sure somebody else wins. It's not possible for the other player to do anything
Yeah,
other
yeah.
than take out the weaker player to make that player a little bit more plausible. But again, they're not playing to try and win. They're just trying to stop that person from winning.
Risk is an interesting one because there comes a point in Risk where you can almost go, and we should stop playing now and save the next half hour because you've won.
Yes.
At this point.
Same as Monopoly, same as a lot of those sort of games, yeah.
So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, because you spend extra time going, I know what's going to happen, what's the point of me doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been king made before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing Risk Legacy, and another player deliberately made a move that stopped someone else from being able to win, knowing that it would leave me a really easy route to victory.
I think I remember. I was
Yeah, you
that
were there.
game.
You were there.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
And it was weird because it kind of felt a little bit like it took away from my victory. Like I hadn't won, we'd won, and actually I'd won and piss off you.
Yeah.
I'd crushed you earlier, go away.
Yeah.
But I can understand in that because that was a revenge on that particular person.
Yes, I was going to say that was somebody taking back something. It was like, this might make me win, but this puts that person further down, and I'm really angry at that person in this point in the game. Yeah, I
think
it's more like accidental king making is okay almost.
I think the psychology of a player that's realised they can't win is really interesting.
Yes.
Because if you do help someone else, you become invested in that and you get a little bit of secondhand glory rubbed off on you. You might get bored. And so you try to make the game finish as quickly as possible. So if you smack the person in second place really hard, then maybe everyone's going to give up. Or if you do this thing and you know that that person's going to win, but it's going to be early, I can kind of understand that as well.
Yeah,
my
actually.
attention wanders massively when I don't think I can win.
Yeah.
Even though winning isn't the point and the purpose of the game for me above all and everything else, I still get a bit...
Well, yeah, because competitive games, it's still the core mechanic behind it is winning.
Yeah.
Really. So if that's taken away, a good chunk of the game is taken away as well.
Yeah.
Even if that's not the main reason you're playing it. So yeah, I mean that's why I try to find other ways of having fun to stop myself from getting that bored.
Yes. Yeah. I hopefully, if you're playing a good game with an amount of depth and an amount of stuff going on with it,
yeah,
when you're losing is a way to maybe try a different strategy.
Yeah.
To use some different mechanics.
Yeah. Do something you've never done before.
Yeah, and to kind of play around with the game. But again, that can seem like king making potentially.
Yes.
If you start deciding, I wonder if I try this thing and I start collecting pots instead of swords because they're generated in a different way, quite clearly, in this made-up game I'm thinking about.
You'd make pots of clay, you don't make swords of clay.
No, swords of clay would be rubbish. They would break. And if you have a pot made of swords, then you'd get a very stabby stew. No one wants a stabby stew.
No.
But if the person in first place was collecting pots and you start taking them away, they'd be like, you're taking away my pots. I've been collecting pots since 6:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And it's midnight now. It's been a very long game of stabby pot game. And
Twilight Imperium gets weird.
It does. It's all just pots and swords.
Yeah.
And little green blobs with tentacles.
Tortoises.
Oh, don't talk to me about the space turtles. I hate the space turtles with a passion. A passion eclipsed only by my passion for pepperoni pizza. Delicious. So,
yeah,
that was kind of it's meant to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference. It didn't really work. It wasn't clear.
No, I think it's because they're more obsessed just with pizza rather than a specific type. But it is always pepperoni pizza they eat.
I learned in a comedy workshop that specificity is funnier.
Not when referencing, though.
Yeah. Referencing is the lowest form of humour, isn't it? It's basically going, we both saw a thing.
Yeah.
We're the same. Let's laugh together.
Uncomfortably.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Avoid that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that can come across as accidental kingmaker. But again, it's accidental. It's not...
Yeah.
It's that person trying to make their own fun, necessarily, rather than... I want this person to win because they're my bestest friend.
Yeah.
I think that specific element of king making is the thing that's irritating, is you going, I know if I invite these two people round and one of them loses, that person's then going to help them.
Yeah.
And that's how every game is going to go. That's boring.
They team up together
Yeah.
And then you feel like I think the thing is as well is feeling like you're trying to play two different balls in two different courts. And there's nothing wrong with playing with two balls.
No.
But when you're only expecting one ball action, then having two is very difficult to juggle.
Yes.
And you kind of got to split your attention. And you're never going to be able to play two games at once.
No.
Unless you do that crazy thing that Darren Brown did when he was playing chess. Have you seen that?
No.
So Darren Brown played a game of chess where he played 9 grandmasters at once.
Yeah.
My numbers may be slightly fuzzy. And he stood at a board and then a guy made a move. And then he went to the next thing and he made a move and they basically went round.
Yeah.
So he made a move and then the other guy made a move. And then he made a move and then the other guy made a move. And he went round and round. So he was playing 9 games of chess at once.
Yeah.
And he won half of them. Do you know how he did that?
Bribery.
No. So he's playing game A. Person in game A moves king's pawn to b73. These aren't real numbers.
Starts copying them.
So he copies the next guy. So he goes to the next table and moves king's pawn to b73.
Yeah.
And just mirrors
So he
their
ends up
moves. So they're
doing
all
the
playing
strategy.
each other. And all he has to do is remember the last move that someone made.
Yeah.
So he isn't actually playing chess, which is amazing. It's really clever.
Yeah,
and
it
I've
is.
spoiled that episode for anyone who hasn't seen it.
No, but it's still stunning and worth watching.
Yeah,
'cause-
and then I think in the middle, like his 9th game, he played the weakest guy and managed to beat him. So
Yeah.
he got like 5 out of 9. Or something.
yeah.
There was a method. It was very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's relevant, but it's a thing I saw that I liked.
Well, I mean, if you could play several ball games at the same time, possibly relevant.
Yes, balls, courts, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. You're trying to fight a war on 2 fronts,
Yeah.
and Hitler taught us that that is not a good idea.
No.
It can only lead to mass murder.
Yeah, war is still murder no
An
matter.
eventual suicide?
Yeah, there are times when I felt like killing myself after one some of these games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't want to associate myself with Hitler in any way, shape, or form.
You are quite small. Can you paint?
No.
Have you been or are you ever going to be a vegetarian?
I have been a vegetarian, yes. However, I have no issue with Judaism. I don't really want to invade Poland, just visit it.
Do you not need more land for your Volk? This ain't staying. No way.
All of this needs cutting. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, so anything about cooperative games you think we've missed, Aaron? In the spirit of cooperation, I pass the metaphysical buck to you. When you pass a buck, are you passing a money or are you passing a deer? Or are you
I think it's supposed to be passing the puck, but it's got
Okay.
warped over the years.
You're not passing a kind of shrugging motion. You're trying to buck something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
buck's a complicated word.
it is. It really is.
Yeah. No, I can't really think of anything else cooperative game wise, to be honest.
No, that didn't really go anywhere, did it?
No, I thought it'd be something, but no.
No. Cool. Do you want to sum up?
So to sum up then, because we've come to the end, cooperative ball games, they're good. Yeah, no, they're
There are different things. I think a lot of people, when they think board games, especially if board games aren't a thing they're really into,
Yeah.
they think board games are about you play a game against someone. You have to beat someone.
Yeah.
It's very confrontational. I think a lot of people actually shy away from that because of the table flipping Monopoly thing, because they've got that person in their game group who reacts really badly. Because all sorts of reasons why people wouldn't want to play something competitive. And sometimes the mood just takes you, actually, you want to kind of bond with your friends rather than pit your wits against them.
yes,
And so actually a cooperative game can be a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Some groups actually only play cooperative games.
Yeah.
And good luck to them. There is no right or wrong way to structure your enjoyment of a hobby.
No.
No matter what other people say, as long as no one else gets hurt and everyone has fun, then that's fine.
really, really weird cooperative game when somebody got hurt. Especially if you hit them with the board.
Yeah.
But then you're not cooperating.
Well, I was thinking more competitive games people might get hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
But you might get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
And then talk about it and have a conversation. Don't be a passive-aggressive arsehole. Brian. Yeah, so if you have played any of the cooperative games that we've mentioned and you've really liked them or really disliked them for whatever reason, let us know. Be interesting. We're hoping that future podcasts we can kind of go through people's opinions and kind of share those. Because otherwise it's just the two of us talking about things. And actually it's really interesting to get different perspectives on things, or maybe the perspective of people who've thought a little bit harder than we have about something. Which is always good. If you've got any recommendations for some other cooperative games, especially if you've been listening this entire episode going, why haven't they mentioned my favourite game? These idiots, they know nothing. Well, we admit we don't know everything. We do know some things. I know at least 4 things.
4?
Yeah. One of those is how to count to 4, though.
Wow.
So really it's 3 things. So if you've got a favourite game that you think we'd enjoy, you think we should play, let us know. We'll have a look. We'll check it out. We can't guarantee that we can check out every single game ever, because unfortunately, Aaron needs to get a proper job. You've got a proper job.
I have got a proper job. Yeah.
We can't guarantee we'll play every game, but if we do, if we see something, you recommend it, and we try it out, we'll give you a shout out. And we'll try to talk about it on the channel. I think that's only fair. There's so many games out there.
There is. There's millions now.
I've been into modern board gaming for 4 or 5 years, and it's just expanding so quickly. There's such a boom in games that I can barely I feel I've got a good grip on the modern classics, and then everyone's like, have you played this? Have you played that? Oh, this game's come out. Oh, Reiner Knizia has released another 14 games this Wednesday, and you're like, I can't keep up.
No, it's not possible. There's no reason why you should feel you have to either.
Yes.
There is nothing wrong with playing your favourite one over and over again.
Yeah, if you're having fun and no one's getting hurt, apart from the board game industry, which is going to go broke, but you've already bought your favourite game, so bugger them.
Yeah.
As long as people are having fun. I think that's something we struggled with, actually, is feeling pressure on the podcast to keep up with what's new.
Yeah.
And try to always be on the cutting edge.
Yeah, because you want to be able to introduce something that other people maybe haven't had a chance to play.
Yeah. But the thing with the cutting edge is it's sharp and painful.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there too long, because eventually you will be split in two by it.
Yes.
Ugh. Yeah. That's graphic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot of games out there that just get missed.
Yeah.
In the kerfuffle. So.
And there's nothing wrong with if you've never played a game before, it's new to you, and you can be as enthused and excited and as full of wonder by playing that game as you would from the latest big Kickstarter with 427 miniatures hand painted by Somali orphans.
Yeah.
That's fine, as long as you're, again, enjoying yourself. That's fine. But it's taken us a bit of time to realise it's kind of okay for us not to be on that bleeding edge of things. And if you're like, I've just discovered this amazing game called Settlers of Catan, it's really good, who wants to play it? And everyone's like, yawn, that's so last decade.
Hit them with the board.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's still a great game.
Yeah, exactly.
Find some new people.
Yeah, but other people don't want to play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't need to be an elitist snob about things.
No.
I don't like elitist snobs.
No. Is that a bit elitist of us saying that?
Yeah. I think it's that thing of, if you're tolerant, do you tolerate intolerance? Are you a snob for snubbing the snobs? Are you being snobbish about your lack of snobidity? It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
tricky,
complicated, yeah.
So our recommendation is to just enjoy your hobby and have fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if you listen to us, we can help guide you along. You might massively disagree. That's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Aaron. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Why don't you shout at me?
Oh, God. It got dark. I thought we were doing a movie reference, and it's actual tears. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode of the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, episode 100 and something. I lost count a while ago.
Yeah.
I know roughly.
A lot of them.
I know what decade we're in. That's fine.
Yeah.
So there's loads of stuff about board games, tabletop RPGs, miniature games, and the occasional bit of video game content in our podcast. We have a YouTube channel that is full of videos, as well as a place where you can access those podcasts in a slightly different way. We have a sister channel called Good Night Internet, where we talk about the news and the internet, and we do sort of fun games and challenges that's slightly different to this, which we've just launched. And we'd love it if you checked it out. It's on YouTube. You can also find the Critical Twits on Facebook, on Instagram, on
Twitter,
and other places.
Gmail.
Gmail. Yeah, you can mail us your thoughts and opinions if you don't want to splatter them all over a public forum like so much gloopy paint. Shameful gloopy paint, perhaps. But if you don't want to share them in public, but you'd still like to get in contact with us, you can contact us at criticaltwits@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we'd love to hear from you. As we said, we'd love to hear from the people that listen. It genuinely makes our day when people reach out.
Yeah.
Or when we see the subscribe number go up, or when we see people sharing things with their friends. We love it, and we love you for doing it. So until next time, I've been Brian.
I've been Aaron.
Goodbye.
Bye.